Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode on Laid Back the Aturozinga podcast. Our topic for this week is new chapters of life. Our guest for today is a wealth coach who has passion for human development and wealth creation. Hello, Chuks. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Hello, how have you been?
Good. So, how everything they go?
It's going fine. Just doing some thoughts on the new things to create, content life. So just that's it. It's a new week. You are trying to, dish out something for the audience, right?
Yeah. Content creation can be hard. How's the journey been for you so far?
Yeah, I'm passionate about it. It's something I like because it's something my heart is very, very linked to. The only challenge is, of course, mentally. You have to, there's AI now. There's a lot of content out there, so you have to be so creative. You have to be on your feet. You have to go deep to, draw something from within. Exactly, you have to go deep to draw something from your own well. Otherwise, you just rotate what is also there. And not that you must reinvent the wheel, but at least you have to add a better spice or something that is unique.
Just unique and different. Yeah. So, you said this is what you're passionate about. So let's go to self-discovery because it's one of the things you talk about. So self-discovery, for a lot of people, that's the hardest thing in life because a lot of people go through this life searching for answers, trying to understand who they are. Why do you think self-discovery is really, really important in life?
Okay, that's a very wonderful one. I feel like, the world has been designed for us to, of course, the industrial era, for us to go to school, come out, graduate, and come and work, which, of course, is a very good model, but it's not entirely encompassing. So I feel that knowing yourself is one of the things. In fact, self-discovery, knowing oneself, is one of the things we have skipped. Like I asked myself one day, like I've studied social sciences, maths, English, and all sorts of subjects till my master's degree, but I've never really intentionally studied myself, even if it's just by studying my day, studying myself intentionally, like making it so structured to study me. I asked myself, like, how will I know everything around me, or not necessarily everything, but how will I be things outside, while I don't do anything about knowing something inside me. So I feel that if you know this, it's just like you are the control unit. If you know the outside and know the inside, you now can be a better person. I think self-discovery is the learning tick. It makes you be at the center. You can use that thing outside and bring out the world in you because you are now at the center. Inside, outside. You just come at the center and use this information in where you like creatively. I think self-discovery is like the first thing. People have written this thing before. Know thyself. I think that's one of the best advice you will get from anybody. Know thyself, right?
Yeah, there's no design most in life, unlike in academia where everything is structured and designed for you to actually know what to do next. But in this process of discovering oneself, is self-discovery really the same thing as self-awareness, or is there any difference between the two?
Okay, it's like one leads to the other. It's just like if you discover something, you have become aware of it, right? So it's not about making it a synonym thing. I think it's the same journey. If I discover that the palm tree can help me to understand wealth, I've already had that awareness once I discover it. But I may be seeing that same tree for 20 years, I don't know. But once I have discovered this thing, it gives me this awareness that I can always learn from palm tree. So discovery, and the discovery leads to awareness. Awareness leads to more discovery. So I think it's like chicken and egg thing. So it's, instead of seeing it as a synonym, I think it's more about going on this journey, self-awareness, self-discovery. Major thing is about knowing oneself. So whether it's self-discovery, self-awareness, and any name we call it, the major thing is about making that internal journey, that internal exploration. Discover oneself. Just know it thyself. I think is key. Whether you want to use, there are so many words online today and a lot of confusion. So I think the major thing is just go and know who. If your name is Kadibia, go and know Chukwukadibia. If your name is Arenze, go and know Arenze. You understand? So instead of trying to mix up all these so many write-ups here and there, right?
Yeah. That's a good thing to point out because I'm about to mention there's this book I read when I was younger called Mastery, written by Robert Greene. It's one of my best books. Yeah. In that book, he mentioned social intelligence and emotional intelligence as highest indicators for success. So, how important do you think these parameters are in finding yourself and your place in life compared to just being a bookie or a book smart person?
Okay, social intelligence, connecting with people, because in this life we are all made whole. We are all one package, one full package, one whole. But let's be frank, everything whole is still connected. Life is built on connectedness. So even if you are making the internal journey, another way of also making it make more sense and have value is connecting. So if I discover, for instance, I have been blessed with wealth creation knowledge, and will I consume it myself? No. So one of the best things I will do is that I have to connect. I have to find a way to connect with people, because it's in that social intel I will find the value more. I know the value, but people will start seeing more worth, and before I know it, the usefulness will start growing. People will start saying we can use it for this. I may discover that maybe a palm tree can help me to know about wealth, a tree, a flower, everything around me. But someone else can now tell me, hey, it's been done here, let's try it here. So social intelligence is key, not just in terms of growing your career, but it's also when people, let's say I want to bring something, someone will tell me you didn't present it so well, I'll have to go back. The person has a standard, I have to go back and back something else to make it more polished. Discover that your fellow human being that is also growing can help you to grow. And if I don't connect, I might think I know it. The thing is, even if you know yourself, like you won't eat yourself, like you won't eat it, you won't consume what you know, you won't consume what you discover about yourself. Like the tree standing, the fruits are outside for us to come and pluck. The tree is calling people to come. When the fruits are ripe, we all go to the tree. Why? The tree is whole. It's something that is made, is packaged as a whole. But without people using that fruit, the fruits just get down and decay and doesn't have any value when they just go down, and so it has to attract people. So life is based on connectedness. So, and once you understand connectedness, you discover that even when you do your self-discovery, you also need to mingle with people to also discover other people. You are not alone. You are not alone. So one of the things I tell people is have self-awareness and have others' awareness. Have self-awareness and have awareness. And as you are doing that one, you are getting social. The more you go, the more because people will definitely push you to do what you do, maybe push you to improve yourself or refine yourself. As you do it, you now grow in emotion. I think at the social, at the connecting level of the emotion is going deep. I believe you have to have social awareness first, social intelligence first, before you can grow into emotional intelligence.
Yeah. You're right, because there was an idea I had recently, and the moment I shared it with a friend of mine who was doing something similar, she actually helped me to refine and make the idea better.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think I agree with you on that. Let's go on to the next question. So you mentioned how it's important for us to follow our passion. Most of people have been saying follow your passion. Yeah. But sometimes other people find it hard, especially the men, because of how it can be hard. They need to feed their families, they need to take care of their families, and at that point, the passion is not financially rewarding. At that point, how do you navigate that?
Yeah, when it comes to passion, I'm very careful with the word passion. I think we all have different passions. Like, me, I love football. It's my passion. I love something like Discovery. Like when we were small, I used to watch Discovery Channel a lot. I love Discoveries. Like if I start counting my passions, I will do many things. But what I usually tell people is to follow their spirit, or follow their heart. Heart means spirit. Some people don't explain it. So I feel like when it comes to not paying, one of the challenges, if you want to follow this path, you have to start early. Because people usually discover this when they have finished school, and maybe some of them have clocked 27, 35, 40, some are 19. But the problem is they are used to, their friends are earning money, big money, and they can't separate themselves to come and start working on this passion thing, or this thing they call discovering oneself, to know what you have within, to bring out your creative package, So like one of the things they say is this thing might take me time, and they are always scared of that word patience, because they don't know if this patience is 6 months, 6 years, 3 months, so 3 years, so they don't know how long it will take them. So I think something might not be paying you, but it may take you time to refine that creative stuff to be able to have financial value. So one of the things I tell people is you have to start early. So that's why I'm one of the people that try to advise parents to start early at the age of 12, to teach children about finding themselves and knowing what they are doing, and show them the opportunity routes in their areas of giftings. Almost everything can pay. The challenge is you have to stay quite a long for you to be able to reap financial rewards, package it and refine it. So if somebody starts late, the pressures in the world, what they're doing, getting married, getting cars, buying this and that, traveling all over the world, it's not so easy to, suppress that press. That, let's be frank, I'll be it. So I think reasons why it's hard for people, social pressure and starting late, let's be frank. But when it comes to the solution is starting early. The more we, like the next generation, if the next parents, children can learn from us, our children will have more advantage if we can start early. But you know how the world is designed. Parents and their children there's no time for parents in the world now. A lot of work, even though people are working from home, a lot of demands on knowledge and a lot of delivery. So a lot of people don't have time. There are external people are taking care of children. We discover that children might not also have this. Okay, so what I'm saying is, like, when you look at this thing of starting early, if you don't start early, the pressure is too much. So you can't. It's not so easy to start this journey at 30. Even though motivational speakers might make it look like don't give up, you can still achieve it. Well, let's be frank. Our minds have been built to. We've built friendship with classmates and colleagues. Nobody can say he has this this proof of strength. So the thing is, you have to sacrifice. Once you go this journey, there are some things you have to sacrifice. It's a later journey. It's something you reap later. So you can't refine, you can't just go into something and package it like in the next 2 months. Yeah. I think it has to take time. That's why they told us about, there's this research about 10,000 hours, right? You discover that you have to stay long in it. If you stay long in it, it makes sense. Your heart, your mind, and your body will be in harmony, and then it becomes part of you. And only that time you can start showing the world what this thing is all about. You can find the oneness in that thing, and you can sell it. But that long time, I think, is one of the things that is hard for people of this time. Don't blame them. They are not used to this part of life. So we are not all used to it. It's something we discover and something we want to bring on to our next generation. So that's it.
Yeah, spending 10,000. I think Malcolm Gladwell mentioned it in his book Outlier, that spending 10,000 hours on a particular thing makes you an expert or makes you good in that particular field.
Exactly.
But that leads me to my next question. Actually, considering when we were growing up, we had guidance and counseling departments in schools and the rest of them, but I don't think they really helped us to know our strengths and weaknesses. So for the next generation now, how do you think the younger generation can actually find their passion earlier in life to actually take that path on time, instead of just, for example, you see a student who is so good at drawing. You see the person doing science. I don't think the person should be there. But you see what I mean? So how can the younger generation actually find their passion earlier in life?
Okay, the first thing I usually say is starts from the family. If a father and the mother have this awareness, I think children honor their parents a lot. I think teachers can do their part, schools can do their part in terms of the structure of guidance and counseling, but they can also help. But let it be at the back of the minds of parents, fathers and mothers, to inculcate this spirit in their children. Like let them transfer it, because people that didn't follow this path will not transfer it. If you don't know something, you can't give it. If you don't have something, you can't give it. So I think people now should understand that this part might be so tough. The creative part, going to this part is to awaken the creative person in you. We understand that it is hard. But the thing is, if you follow it, you will see the difference. You see the reward. You see, wow, like you won't even know that somebody like you can do this. That's why I talk about the chapter. You will see that there's an entirely new chapter of life that you've been missing. So I think parents can help. Then another thing I think is that schools name things, but these things are just, we copy forms, we don't copy the content or the power. That somebody has a department of guidance and counseling does not mean the person is equipped or maybe very competent at it. Somebody can copy what he sees in a big company or in a big country, and they discover that this thing exists in terms of a form, but it doesn't, the power of that form is not being executed. So we had a lot of schools that had these people there, but they don't have the power to transfer this knowledge, to even discover these guys. So I think one of the challenges is that we copy a lot of things. Just like in business, I see people copying vision statement, mission statement, but they don't follow it. Having it on your website, like vision statement or mission statement, does not mean that you follow it. The same way, having a guidance and counseling department does not mean that you are ready to execute guidance and counseling, right? Because this is more about a life of direction and guidance. And if it's not something that somebody in that department is known doing all the days of his life, or is passionate about doing, the person will not deliver it to another person. It's not easy to guide people. So direction has to be your part for you to be a master of direction, guiding other people's children. So I think parents should have a role to play. And when we want to, the public sector, private sector, the schools in private and public sector should have the real form, the real power of that department, of that title, not just answering the title for answering sake, but doing what the work says. I think we miss that part. We copy form, but we don't copy the content.
Yeah, that's a good point to make. I like the fact you mentioned that you can't give what you don't have. Yeah. Like if you don't know something, I don't think you can actually give it to anybody. That's really, really true. But now, why do you choose this particular area or topic, like new chapters of life? Why new chapters of life?
Okay, there was a time I have had a lot of realizations in life, like everyone also has this, but I said it wouldn't stop at this realization. Let me give it a try. I noticed something. I read a book by Michael Watkins. I think I'm right. The First 90 Days. Even though I've had this thought before, but that book made me to understand more, because I've already joined this path before I read that book. But it gave me a more intentional way of looking at it. Transitions. The book is about leadership, first 90 days of a leader, trying to transit into a new role. But I had to link it to my personal life. So I started studying my transition from primary school to secondary school to university to master's degree to study practicing civil engineering, then to transiting into this path, human capital development, and now discovering that this is about wealth creation. I discovered something that is very common in all these transitions. There's always a part, something like life is trying to show you, but maybe at that level I was not seeing it. But it got to the point when I was 26, 27 that I started seeing it. Because the first time I tried to see it was at 17, but I didn't really understand it. But at 26, 27, I started seeing that there's a transition, there's a path I am meant to follow. There's a path I'm ignoring. In my heart, it disturbed me. But I couldn't, I said one day, let me leave all things I'm doing and give a try out to this path. Maybe there's something about me I don't know. And that was how I said, let me just, I was scared. Like I said, social pressure, internal pressure, what people would say, how even me, what would happen if, what if. I told myself, like, the heart is where the issues of life spring from. The heart is like the spirit. It is the heart that receives instruction from God, also instruction from the negative side. But I said, like, this thing cannot be there in my heart for 10 years. Let me give it a try. So this thing has been so consistent, speaking to me. Let me know what this thing is. And if you don't go through something, you can't know everything about the house by just seeing a door open. You have to open the door and go through the house. So I said, let me go through this house. Let me go through this part. And in this part, I started asking some questions, like, I have a master's degree, but I can't boast as a master. Not that I want to boast, but I can't be proud saying, okay, I'm a master. So I said, no, there must be something. Just like I wrote an article about the journey to self-mastery. And I said, let me journey into mastery. Let me go where my heart is, since the heart is where the issues of life springs from. And that was how I started knowing that I have some creative skills and powers that I never knew. And this is how I now flashed back. Again, I started seeing that there are chapters of my life I would have seen if I had this kind of eyes, if I have this kind of eyes from primary 6 to secondary school. So new chapters of life is about you understanding that you may be where you are thinking you are that's your best. But the truth is, there are some things you will give room to. There are some challenges that will come your way that you will find a way to tackle. There are some calls. There are some things you're being called to do that you will answer. You will discover that there are deeper things about you that will give you more influence in life, that will give you more, and you more power, and you more social power than the things you think are the best for you right now. So I think it gave me a new picture that if my heart, like when I was in the place I was working before, my body comes to work, but my heart and my mind weren't. So I said, why am I depressed? I've never been depressed in life except that time. So it was when I resigned from there, I started up again. I now discovered that somebody can be sick just because of being in the wrong place. And by the time I started working on what my heart has been calling me to do, and my mind got attached to it, and my body followed suit, I discovered that over the years, the past 6 years, I've gained harmony. And this harmony has shown me that the new chapter I'm going right now, yes, I have not made money, but I'm beginning to see people that are strangers that are beginning to key into what I do. And a lot of things, I noticed that I'm now more spontaneously intelligent. I'm now more responsive to change. I'm now more proactive. There are so many things I was thinking they were so hard. Now they come like easy for me. And I discovered that this is the path to mastery. So if you follow this path, there are so many chapters. I have a lot of content titles, and this thing are also chapters, because the more I write to people, the more I learn. I wouldn't have known all these things if I had remained in the path I thought was the best for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because you mentioned that the more you write, the more you learn, and you become more proactive. The more you become more creative, and I think you're right, because I realize whenever if I'm passionate about something, for example, football, I realize because I'm passionate about that thing, my whole antenna, would I call it antenna, everything is up. You end up being more, you are happier just doing that thing. You are more creative. You can even link that thing. You see interconnectedness in that particular field to anything, because you actually,
that's the harmony. Exactly.
Yeah, you love it. It's something you enjoy.
Yes,
I agree with that. So that leads me to my next question now. So how can, because you mentioned a lot of people, for the person who is in a position now or in a job he does not really like, and it's because I know that if you're in a job you don't like, whether you like it or not, it will affect your happiness, and it may affect your life at home as well. So if there's someone out there who's in a job he or she does not really enjoy, how can they make that change, knowing so well that they have a lot of people dependent on them? A lot of people find it hard to make that change, because if I leave now, what next for me? How am I going to feed my family? How am I going to take care of my mom? You see what I mean? If there's someone out there now who is stuck in a job he or she does not like, how do you think they can make that change to actually create that new chapter in their life?
Okay. tough one. One of the first things is it's like risk management. Like, but instead of just quitting your job, everybody's situation is different. If it's making you sick and making you so lean, and you are no more getting your life, you can leave. But also you need money to take care of yourself. So if you have an anchor, maybe if you are still young and you can stay with your parents, fine. If you can stay with your friends, but it's still gonna be a burden. Like I said, you will not know how long it will take you, so it will be a burden. But what I advise people is just hang on to that job, and then know when you can, make that transition. But if you hang on to that job, you will not still be happy. So I have something to tell the person. One of the things I say is, when I took the job I told you I was depressed on, I didn't like the job in the first instance. In fact, I wrote my resignation letter before I even accepted the job, because I knew my heart is not going to be here. But one of my mentors, Reverend Francis Ojukwu, told me, he said, see, you have to take this because you are not earning money right now. Just take this and use it to build. Then he now made a comment. Remember goodwill, be good to people, then be joyful at the work. Find something. But he didn't just say be joyful. But as I was now working, I had to recreate what I do. So if I come, I love people, I love being around people, I love making sure that people around are happy. So what I do is I just go around sometimes during break time, asking people how far, how is it going. Like, I just want to express that me. Even though I may not like the place, I sometimes during break time I will asking people questions. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think is the cause of unemployment? What do you think is the reason why graduates are not prospering? So everybody knew me in the workplace as one interviewer, someone that is doing something that is passionate about, even though it's not in context of work. But I was using break times and people's free time to do this. And after a while, after doing it, I still didn't get to the point that I got tired of the job. But at least I created an atmosphere, a place for me, for that kind of thing I want inside that job I was doing. And again, I was carrying my books to work all the time. Once I'm idle, I read books related to the area I want to go, to the things I love, because I cannot also, because I don't like where I am, and then I will not do anything about what I want to do. So instead of resigning, just be building this thing where you are, because I have been building this thing from 2014 when I was in Abuja, came back to Enugu. I have notes where I write my ideas. I got my logo then inspirationally, I drew it, and I kept building these things small. They weren't earning me anything, but it kept getting clearer. I was doing what I love within the people. Everybody I worked with, in fact, some of them, somebody called me the other day and said, wow, so you are still in this thing, this guy. So you are still doing this thing, like you really mean this thing, like all the time you keep saying about it's growing. I'm seeing what you are doing. It's now more refined and better than what you are telling us in the office. I told the guy that finally I have focused on it fully. Right, so I think we can create, if it's sports you organize something like sports in your company. You can start talking with people informally outside the office. Tell them that we can meet on Saturday. Just find something you love that you can show and give to people around, even if it's 3 people, 1, 2, 3. And as you are doing it, people will even know that you are doing that thing, and somehow it will be giving you showers of hope that this thing is valuable. So if we can't control what we can do, we can also, if we can't control our environment, we can control little things we can give to the next human being. And who we are it doesn't need so much money to start. What we need is just the heart of love to give it out.
Yeah, I agree. You mentioned going out. Your mentor told you that you have to be joyful, go out there, mingle with people, talk about your stuff. And the thing I picked from that is, I noticed when you are talking about something you are passionate about, you don't even know that it comes across that way, but you are happier. People can feel that you really like that thing. You come up, people can tell that you are happy about what you're doing. You are passionate about what you're doing. People can tell. And so going around talking to your colleagues about trying to get to know them, talking about what you're doing, I think they can feel it. And I think it's really, really important to create that positive atmosphere where you can actually interact with a lot of people. It's really, really important.
Yeah.
But because of time, we have to round off soon. But if you are asked, if let's say there's a 19-year-old now who comes to you now and asks you, how can I make? Can you tell me 4 things I need to do? Just 4 things I need to do to actually create a new chapter in my life. let's say the person between 19 and 25 years old. Let's not fix a particular between 19 and 25 years old.
Okay.
Can you list out 4 things I can do to create a new chapter in my life?
Okay. The first thing I will, like I said, the first thing is to, before you go out there, before you do anything in life, ask yourself a question of direction. Ask yourself a question of direction, because I will, from what I'm doing now, most of the calls I receive from people, they are calls of direction and discretion. People lack direction and discretion, and it's been the problem. You see somebody from 19 to 50, the person is still looking for direction. So I think the first thing is to understand that you need direction. So you need direction, ask for direction. The person might now say, how do I go about this direction? The second thing is, people try to omit it in the world these days, because they try to, say your own truth, your own opinion, fine. But from people that have encountered, I will tell a 19-year-old that one of the ways, the second thing now, it would have been the first thing, but sometimes people don't understand. So I will say it as the second thing, is to seek God for this direction, because that's unknown. There are so many things that are known in the world. There are so many things that are also unknown. The realm of the unknown, the only person that knows it perfectly is God. So most of the time we try to force ourselves into the journey of the unknown. So I think the second thing I would have made it the first, but if I say it first, the 98.5, we might see it as an ordinary thing. But by the time I have given him a small piece of lecture on direction, he will understand that the next thing I will tell him is about knowing God. Then the second thing I will say is about know God for yourself. Don't just be reading about, just go to your closet, kneel down and I need to know you. I need to know you. Who are you? People are talking about you. Who are you? Show me who you are. And that way you can start out. Even if you don't get any answer, just keep thanking him in your closet, and then you will see him invited. And then the third thing I'll tell a 19-year-old, express love. I know it sounds generic, but when I tell you to express love, this is an instruction or a directive that can help you to, invite that, because God is love. If you've not gotten an answer, just express love. If you have an advice, help your fellow mates. If you have a link of opportunity, send it to your mates. Express love. The more you give out, the more you also see things. In fact, have you noticed that if you want to buy a birthday gift for your friend, you'll be searching so many stores looking for what your friend likes? If you love your friend, you discover that you'll be looking for many things to get for your friend. And in that search, you start discovering many products in the city, right? So the same way, if this young man can be told to express love, young girl can be so told to express love, you discover that this person will begin to have a heart of search, love, discovery. Because love, to me, a lover discovers a lot, because he's always searching for what to do for the person he loves or she loves. So the next thing is to express love. And then in that love, whatever you discover in that love that you have, also understand that this thing is something you can build. So the first thing I will tell somebody, as you go in that journey of love, know that there's something that makes somebody unique in this world, and it's something that selling something, apart from expressing it informally, find something you can package. So as you grow in this journey, by the time he's doing all these 3 things, he must have gotten to maybe 6-7 years or 3 years, depending on how fast he is to grasp. So the thing is, the fourth one is to finally find a way to package this thing or refine this thing as your work. If it's not selling something, we don't discover one thing in the path of love. You discover a lot of things. They can come as many things in one package, but just as you discover, just give. If you can sell, if you can market, just package it and refine it to something that people can use and improve their lives. And that way, before you know it, you can even create something that is a large institution, a great product, or a big company. So first of all, ask for direction, seek God, express love, and refine something to something that has market value.
Okay, so you said first of all, ask for direction, seek God, love, and then when you find something you want to do, give it out and try as much as possible to refine it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really, really good. But thank you so much. That's all the time we have for this week. Thank you so much. But before we go, you mentioned that you are writing some books. Could you actually shed some light on that?
Okay, yeah, I have actually, written the first draft of one, Negotiating Your Value. Negotiating Your Value is a book I want to publish, and I've been trying to get the international attention to get this, and a very good agent has lectured me on the processes of getting into the industry through this traditional publishing route, and it's all about authors platform, building your platform, and that's what I'm trying to do on LinkedIn for people to join me and follow my content and all that. But I want the natural growth. I don't want to just do anyhow. I want the natural growth. But the book is Negotiating Your Value. The one I have done the first, the one that made me to have this connection to the audience. Like the first one, I have sat down for almost how many months to document and write about. Like, it's about, sometimes I discovered that they talk about value you bring to the table, value. So I was like this thing has come to me. I did a training on it. I said, my audience told me to expand it, and as I was expanding it, I now got 5 components of value, and I was now trying to link it to negotiation because people might have it but they don't know. So I talked about the 5 components of value in the book. Presence is the first one, resources is the second one, experience is the third one, skill is the third one, and then solutions. The solution is the 5th one. And then the book is about is 3 sections. The sections or the components of value, the 2 negotiation environments, and then I now use those 2 negotiation environments to explain how to get what you want. Like most things people want is to get people, that's relationships, to get position, and then to get paid. So these 3 things are the 3 things I use to spice the book up, but the book is majorly about the 5 components of value.
Okay, that's interesting. The book, are you still writing it, or has it been published? Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I've not. Because of the requirements, I actually wanted to go through some people they call hybrid publishers, but I didn't like the contract, and I said let me just wait for the agent and the procedures that she gave me the requirements on what to do. I want to just know if I can do it. I want this book. This is a book that I feel that has some new knowledge. It's not like I didn't reinvent the wheel, but it has some knowledge that I believe that will help young people across board to do what they're doing. And I want to wait for it. And then, but I'm also working on small books that are not so big, maybe just few pages that I can sell myself and use to also build my platform. So I'm working on them. Not so easy to write books, but I'm trying to create more short books that people can use to see what I can offer.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you so much, Chuks. On that note, this is where we'll have to round off.
Oh, thank you so much for this opportunity and audience, right? Thank you.
Thank you. We have to thank you. So thank you for actually honoring the invitation, and hopefully we'll do this again.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. More grace in what you are doing.
All right. Thank you so much.